All right. Welcome back, everyone. This is podcast number 10. This is RWink 7, and I am joined with DJ Orakle. And today we've got a few little topics that we'd like to discuss, but mostly around the Blitz results and the Fractured Fates collection, as well as some speculation about season 3. So thank you very much for joining me again today, DJ Orakle. I hope everything's been going well with you.
Yeah. Thank you for hosting again. And yeah, everything's pretty good so far. Pretty exciting things on the horizon.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff, right, coming out with season 3 and the Fractured Fates. So, and I know we've been a little busy recently. So again, sorry everybody if you've been waiting for this, but real life takes precedence. So, but we found some time, and I mean we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So, we'll try to keep it under an hour and a half. But once we get talking, it sometimes turns into a big snowball, and we get discussing a lot of different stuff. So, do you want to do quick little shout outs and then we can talk about our Blitz results?
Yeah, shout out to everybody who played. I know we had quite a few new players, so I'm glad that everybody had fun. Shout out to you. You've been doing great with your videos,
Oh,
and
thank you.
yeah, I'm loving Main City. So yeah, congratulations on your videos.
Oh, much appreciated. And I'm glad you're back. Let's leading into season 3 here. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of content to make. And, once guilds and everything come out, we're going to have a ton of stuff going on. So lots to look forward to. And it was nice though, that they gave us one final Blitz, that we're at least familiar with the format. So I'm excited to see how things are going to change as it moves forward. But, how did you do? Did you had a good little, what do they call it? The Road to the Fractured Fates Blitz.
Yeah, like you said, I'm glad that we had one. We were really in need of one, especially in between speculation, and we were all excited about the lands. But I started off pretty strong. Uh, One thing that I had a hiccup on is, so at the beginning I pick up some uncommons so that I can get the gold going, but I have to be better at letting go, knowing when to let go of the commons and keep some of the cool cats to start prestiging. Because at the beginning, the diamonds, there's not, it's still pretty affordable with the diamonds. It's the gold that sometimes we're waiting for. But once we get to like prestige, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6, that's when I need to get rid of some of the heavy diamond businesses. But like you were saying, I didn't have much time to keep a really good strategy, so I did my best, and I started strong, and then I started slowing down little by little. But then you helped me out on my strategy, and I was able to finish at 75, which is exactly 1 million vouchers.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. A million vouchers is good. That's 1,000 crow, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
not
the
bad
one.
at all.
Definitely one of the challenges, right? Is to like balance that first, couple prestiges where you're really hurting for gold, but you're still building up a lot of diamonds. But yeah, you had a really heavy diamond land. When would you have like 2 bazaars? You had a couple Leo and Co's and a few dens, right? And did you also
Yeah,
was there an
yeah.
LL Sports as well?
So I started with an LL Sports, but then I sold it. I think I didn't even get it to Prestige One. I just kind of got it to like 400, level 400 or so.
Yeah, let it help you
Um,
with your gold a bit.
yeah, and so yeah, I have 2 bazaars. Um, I had 2 Leos and 3 Dens, I think, and then one diner, which comparing the diner to the den, now I can really see why people rather not have the diners, even though they give a little more gold out of the all the commons. But
Yeah, compared
comparing
to the
that
LLs
to
or the Cool Cats, right?
yeah, compared to the Cool Cats move up faster.
Yeah. No,
But the gold is a little slow.
and you definitely start to see once you start running Cool Cats, just as your prestige requirements, why there's so much more premium on them, right? Everybody wants that Cool Cat just to cut out those extra little bit of diamonds.
Yeah. And it's funny because shout out to Diamond. Crypto Diamond's always like, "Did you boost your cool cats?" He's always we needing it on the plaza.
Yeah.
Make sure you boost all your cool cats, all your cool cats.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Put your lightning boosters on your cool cats.
Yeah, but then again, they play at a different level, right?
No, yeah, he got into the double digits, right? Like I forget what he ended up at, like AB or something like that in a 2 week comp.
Um,
That's insane.
yeah, 872.19 AB.
Yeah, holy man. Like I was just hovering there around. I think I ended up getting to P25, maybe P26, somewhere around there, which was pretty good for me. I mean, I could have pushed a little bit harder near the end, but I ended up selling off a lot of cool cats. I just kept using my diamonds to build cool cats to sell to people, basically. So I made a little bit of profit there, not much, because I ended up buying that bazaar, and that was pretty expensive. But with all the cool cats that I sold, I think I ended up before leaderboard prize. I was in profit by like maybe 10K vouchers or something like that.
Nice, nice. And you actually you weren't able to push that much on the first day, right? You started moving faster on the second day.
Yeah, yeah. So I tried that technique because I knew I was going to be a bit busy the Friday, so I was just sort of like, I'm just going to hang back. You know, I think I was floating around like the 500s or something. But
Mhm.
I woke up a bit early and I knew, okay, I got like 3 hours leading up to the first 10x day. And then I basically just started pushing within those 3 hours, trying to get my prestiges up as quick as possible and just building up, attack boosters on your main businesses. So I did that. And then I also got kind of lucky with the two Dens and the Leo and Co. pull. So I just ran with them. Now, the big thing that hurt me was definitely not having any uncommons. Like I didn't pull any uncommons until the push to 30, avatar level 30. And if I
Oh,
would have
okay.
had that's where I was like, man, I wish I would have pulled an uncommon earlier, because I could have been working with that as well. All right, being able to boost one business versus having to boost two when you're working with the rares, it's nice. Um,
Yeah, that's one thing that I got lucky with two bazaars, but then it's kind of like lucky unlucky, right? Because I kept them. I pulled three bazaars and I sold one of them early because I was thinking about not being too heavy on diamonds, but I didn't realize even the Leo and Co's were more expensive than I thought, especially again as we prestige up higher. Um, yeah, I need to learn when to let them go. Um, But yeah, I saw you on the second day. I was like, oh, he's running. I'm glad because on the first day I was like, oh, he must be like either not pulling something good or not really playing because I was a little worried. But
yeah, it's
then
a little combo of
I
both. And I wanted to
yeah,
try that ramp up, like just basically try to get as big of a booster and get into the highest live ranks you can. And that's what helped me. Like I ended up, I think for that most of that day, I was like live rank, 8, 9, somewhere around there. And that pulled me right up from like, the mid 500s, I think, um, somewhere around like maybe 530, all the way to like rank 14, right? And then I just sort of coasted and floated around there. And Papa, I ended up in between Papa and Lion Sentinel, and they just, basically just taking turns with me at that point. Papa was more relentless. just, but no, it was good. They slowed me down a little bit, but I was still able to manage rank 29 for the final, so it was good.
yeah, and I was actually in a space, an X space, and Papa was saying, "Oh man, Arwing is hitting hard." So Papa felt your wrath also.
Yeah, no, I hit him a couple times because he was probably thinking, oh, he's not going to be able to. I think he had like a 220 or 230 malware defense up with Gigabyte Guardian, and I hit him for like 255 or something like that. He's like, damn, he broke through my defense. I was like, I can hit hard too. I don't attack very often though.
And one thing that I realized too is that once you move to a certain spot on the leaderboard, it's kind of easier to keep it that way than to try to keep moving up, right? So you were able to get on the 14 second, or like on the second day, and it's easier for you to just maintain that kind of like maintain. It's it's you're not gonna fall off so fast. So I
Mm.
also like that when you go on the second. So if I was on the 50s on the first day, and I'm already like in the around the sharks. I'm already swimming with the sharks, as opposed to the second day where I could be lower on the leaderboard, and I can be able to like hit somebody who might not hit as hard back, or people that are lower on the leaderboard, and that would be able to help me because I think you got up to like 1,000 on your bonuses, right, or something like
I had one that was over 16 or 1700, like
that.
almost close to 2000 on my main business as I was climbing that first on the second day there, the first 10x. But
Hmm.
you can definitely see like Fiend for Crow, right? Like he sat out for a while. Even like you look at what Meta and Hayton did, right? Like they just bought a big business right at the end and pushed like the last like 3 or 4 days. Like Meta basically bought in 3 or 4 days after. I think he was like just after the first 10x day, and he was like live rank one for a long time until him and Crypto Diamond sort of went back and forth and then traded positions. But yeah, it's definitely about like building into a business that you purchase. That's what I've noticed a lot of people try to do.
Yeah, and also I think this is the first time that Meta went Legion. I think, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, and Fiend for Crow switched over onto Legion. I think he had said that, like, well, at least I know Meta was saying he was just going to choose whichever one was leading at that point when he started playing. So Legion was winning, so he just helped confirm Legion's win, basically.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. There was some people even saying like Voice should win. We should all win Legion so that we could all get the diamonds.
Yeah.
But then again, it's not, you know. But then it kind
Yeah,
of
then
like
who do
cuts
you
into the
attack?
fun of it all.
Gonna attack your own teammate. It's just gonna be, yeah. That would have been it would be kind of funny just to see everybody go Legion or everybody go Void. But no, it's always good to have a good balance, and I think it was still fairly, balanced until Meta, and then Fiend for Crow as well, choosing Legion. That sort of put it over the top, and that's where like if you look at the actual power difference, it was pretty significant. So maybe I'll switch over.
Yeah,
We can take a
Legion.
look at the leaderboard.
Yeah, Legion ended up with 66.59 billion, and the Void at 50.16 billion. So it was almost 10, no, 16 billion.
Yeah, holy 16 billion difference.
Yeah, there was no way we were gonna catch up. Um, but again, it's well, I think it'll be the last blitz that we'll have. I'm pretty sure because we're gonna implement the new stuff. So it was a good old goodbye to the classics.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's sort of the last little hurrah, I think, for this. Then we'll end up seeing. I think it's going to probably go, and maybe we'll save this more for the speculation, but more region based, right? There's going to probably be some sort of region stuff going on. Yeah, we'll have to see how much it actually changes when it comes to the new competition layout and how they sort of balance it versus. And who knows? Maybe there's not even going to be Void versus Legion anymore.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, especially with the guilds, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. See how it all works. So,
Yeah.
I think that pretty much ends that for I think what we're talking about on the Blitz. Did you have any other final thoughts on what we were talking about? I mean, for the most part, it's good that Legion finally got another win. I know we normally would take blitzes, and you guys had a lot of the showdowns, and then took the final competition. But yeah, I'm glad we had a redemption.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was fun. It was fun. I think this is good. A good section for the blitz.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So I mean, then on to the real big thing, right? The Fractured Fate collection. I know the last time that we got to talk, right? We did a quick little podcast just to discuss the collection being dropped. Right. So we haven't really discussed anything since we've had the mint nor the land reveal. Do you want to maybe just start off with some of your thoughts around how the mint went? How did that go for you?
Oh, definitely, I have some thoughts about that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I don't think I don't think I was the only one. And on the first day, I like bought one of the 10 packs. Was it no five, right? I think it was the
Yes.
most that I had. It
Yep.
was five. Yeah. So I bought one. No, I bought two of those. And the next thing you know, I got refunded for my money. And then by the time I jumped in, everything was sold out. And I think that happened to quite a few people that it showed that the order was complete. But then I don't know if it's the system, they got overloaded. But then we just got the refund back and no packs.
So when you did the first purchase, did you buy with a credit card or were you purchasing with crypto?
With crypto, with USDC.
Interesting. Because I had pretty good success with the USDC, right? That's the way I always try to mint because I know it's the quickest and you're not selling any crypto. You're not like waiting for your credit card to confirm anything. Aside, like I can't even use credit cards in Canada to buy anything. They're all blocking it. So you basically need to like transfer money and then purchase crypto and then transfer it in or convert it into USDC. So, but yeah, I was successful with that. My mom was able to get a pretty good mint position. So I sent all of my money pretty much to her account so that she could purchase the 10 packs, and then I got
Mhm.
what did I get, 5 of the 3 packs or something like that for myself. So I lucked out. I feel like a dick now a little bit, but you know, um, at least I was able to get in, and I'm going to be using them, right? I'm not here to flip these lands. I'm here more to hopefully, as raiding and expeditions and all this type of stuff comes out, me having the lands that I do will benefit the community for being able to access these higher rarity ones.
Yeah, and no, don't feel bad. I mean, it's part of strategy too, right? It's part of being early. It's part of just the luck of where you land on the queue. So I'm happy for I'm always happy for you, bro. And so I'm glad that you were able to get it. Not only were you able to get some good amount, it came out really good for your video. Your video was pretty awesome opening those packs.
No, thank you. Oh man, soon, but like opening that primordial and being able to capture that, like that's why I held off on opening the packs. Is like I gotta like wait to the reveal and then open them, right? Because then otherwise you just open it. It's like, oh, here's a black picture of a land deed, right? That sort of like pulses with energy. So I was like, I'm gonna wait, do like the actual reveal, so they're all revealed, and when I open it, it's like, ah, this is what this land is. This is this land, and it just makes it a little more exciting rather than just opening it up and being like, cool, I got a picture. Now I got to scroll through my NFTs later to see what I actually opened.
Yeah, no, totally, totally. I think it was worth the wait. I was also recording. I was screen recording my when I was opening the packs, and I was like, if I get a primordial, then I'll make a video about it too. But I didn't get that much. And speaking of mints too, whenever we were able to start selling in the public sale, um, it was a good difference in prices. I think it started like at like a 90, then 80, 85. So I bought one on 85, and then it went to like 75, 70. So I bought one at 70. um, And then it went
Nice.
down to 60, and I thought it was going to go down to 50. But after 60, I think it was at 65, it jumped back up. So I bought the other one at 75. So I bought two at 75 and one at 85, I think, on the second sale.
Do you know what you ended up with on those ones? Were they just starters, or did you get a couple
Um,
epics or rares?
yeah, I got some epics and rares. I'm not sure if the ones I minted or the ones I bought.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but yeah, minting is always exciting, right? Minting, um, I don't know, it feels like Christmas.
Yeah, there's something exciting. I mean, it's a gamble, right? Like you're gambling to see whether you open something worth money, or if like if you look at the floor price now, I mean, even people that purchased the 5 pack, right, that's still $10 less than what you minted these lands for, because most of what you probably minted are starters, right? So unless you got really
Mhm.
lucky and opened, like two or three primordials, and some mythics and stuff like that. For the most part, everybody's still sitting on a net loss, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the just numbers, right? It's just about numbers too. There's gonna be more starters,
Yeah,
starter land than anything else. So I was happy that I got, I think, an epic. Um, so yeah, it was pretty good, pretty good. You wanna speculate now about the monsters and capacity and the different things that the lands come about?
yeah. So we
Because I
could
mean, yeah.
switch over. I think there was one more thing I wanted just to say on the minting, right? So,
Okay, yeah.
moving forward, they are doing two more mints or land mints. As to when they do them and whether it's another whole new collection or not, nobody really knows. But hopefully, they do take into account people's participation, whether it's in normal mode or in competition. But it would be nice to see, even if they reserved 10,000 land deeds for people that play the game and give them out to the top 2,000 people in normal mode to have an opportunity to mint 10, right? Or
Mm.
five land deeds or something like that, right? And there's your 10,000. So it'd be kind of nice just that if they guaranteed people, it's like, hey, if you're in the top 2,000, it's not hard to get into the top 2,000 with a couple weeks of gameplay right now, right? But being able to get into that rank and then be guaranteed the option to mint some, at the good price, I think would really go a long way for the community. Just because, it sucks to see a lot of these scalpers, these people that are just purchasing and speculating. They think, oh, if I get a couple primordials, then that's going to pay for itself, right? Now I've got lands and I can wait for the airdrop and all this type of stuff. So it'd just be nice if they guaranteed that the community that's playing the game also have the availability to mint.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great point. That's a great point. Also, because I think the next mint of the next lands, I think it's after we onboard to the next 250,000 players, I think.
yes.
Yeah, so it would be a good magnet for players to get involved in normal mode, saying, okay, if you get into a certain rank, like you said, you'll guarantee that you'll get, a few packs without having to like just wait in queue or whatever, or maybe not get them or get the refund like I did. It would definitely incentivize players to just uh, actually get involved. Not like you said, people that are not even playing the game, they're just flipping the deeds. So I totally agree with you. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and hopefully they take into account that. Like I know prior to the actual mint, I had said, "Hey, is there a way? Like, is there any type of like incentive like that? Even if it is just in normal mode, it's like, hey, top 5,000, whatever, right? Like, because not everybody's gonna mint, so just be a nicer way to reward your player base, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great idea.
all right. Yeah, no. So other than that, I think for the most part the reveal went all right. I know a lot of people are sort of upset that all of the lands are sort of sequential, right? So like, you know, if it's part of this region, they're all sort of lumped into this number range. All the primordials are right at the end of the collection. I know people were complaining about that a bit, saying like, well, this isn't fair. If somebody knew that that was the case, then they could have just went and bought up all the ones at the end of the number list there, right? The end of the collection and bought all the primordials. But I don't think there was any data leaks. Nothing seemed to strike me as like, hey, there was insider trading. So I think for the most part, the way it went down, I'm as satisfied as you can be. But I also didn't get refunded, so I got no issues there, right?
Yeah, and like you said, there's no way anybody would have known that they were. It's easier to complain after the fact, right, than to, especially if we don't get it. If somebody would have gotten those numbers, they'll be like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong. We didn't know, blah blah." But when we don't get them, hey, what's going on, blah blah, and that's just part of human nature.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't have the metadata leak, so there was no reason to re-roll like they did with the first land collection. So Overall, I think they, even with the minting process, they got rid of the double queuing or triple queuing that people could do. Like you had to sign in and you could only queue up once, right? So it was a lot better. There was a lot less like, people doing multi-tab stuff. And sure, there's probably still a lot of people that have multi accounts, one for grandma and one for grandpa and everybody, right? I mean, people would
Yeah,
probably say, well, you've got multi accounts because I was using my mom's, but I mean, she's playing, so it's not like it's really a multi account. But
yeah, it's not flippers, you know.
no, exactly. It's not like I have an account for my dad and my mom and my sisters and my dog and everybody, right? And then it's just like minting
Yeah.
as many as you can just to flip. So, but that is frustrating when that happens.
You gotta teach your dog how to click away, man, so you can
Oh,
get some sleep.
there we go. Teach her how to play comp. Put the boosters on. Awesome. All right, so yeah, we'll move on from the land collection here, and I'm just going to flip over quickly to the actual world map GIF that they had, and I'm just going to let it play quickly while we maybe discuss it a bit. So, they do have the world map that they were showing. Um, it gives you a good look at sort of the overview of. I guess I have to stay on it to allow it to play. But yeah, it gives you a good overview. So it shows you each of the two secret regions and then all of the other regions and which lands are associated with them. So yeah, it's pretty cool looking overview for the map. Hopefully, this is going to be implemented sooner rather than later for us to actually start digging into and seeing how we're setting up our cities on these lands. But as of right now, I'm kind of excited by it. Uh, what do you think of that? Um, at least the
Yeah,
world map that they've shown so far.
that was super cool to show the map. The GIF was really cool to get a little bit of the tease of what the world is gonna look like. The regions, like you said, the two secret ones. Um, yeah, I love it. I love it. I was actually trying to like pause it to see what the lands were for every region, so I can try to see if I can pick up one of each. But then I saw like some of the legendaries are pretty expensive, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll wait for maybe some of the lion rewards that I have staking
Yeah,
to even if it takes some time. But it's just really exciting to see all the lands and different regions, see them all together in sequence and color coded pretty much.
yeah. Well, the legendaries are a bit cheaper than the current legendary from the First Frontier collection, right? I know I picked up one of each legendary, and they were all under 400 US dollars. I mean, that's still a
Hmm.
lot of money, but the Molten Caverns, I think $600, $700 still. So a little cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. I mean, saving up, and also you never know when somebody gets paper hands and starts selling off, or somebody maybe needs some money and they need to start
Yeah.
selling off. So
Yeah, just
yeah,
floor their asset. And that's a nice thing is if you floor them, they usually get picked up pretty quick.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe we can.
yeah. So
I
then,
think I got the
uh-huh.
prices. Let me just switch over and we can take a quick look at what the prices are on the crypto.com app or NFT platform while we're talking. So we're at, yeah,
Yeah,
still floor 29 bucks, $28. So not terrible. But again, still at that $10 difference, right? If you were able to mint at $40, $30 is not the nicest. But hey, we're getting into Lion airdrop still, right? Looks like the rares are sitting around 42, $44. What do we got for epics? My computer's being a bit slow today.
and there's some pretty cool looking lands too.
Yeah, so which is your favorite region so far?
Um, I would have to say the Molten Forge. I like those purple looking ones, and I'm going off of what I'm seeing right now. The epics, they're at 108, 109.
Yeah, there's one here for 104 of one
Oh.
of the Molten Cavern or Molten Forge. Sorry, it's kind of cool. It's got like the hands, the gauntlets coming down.
Hmm.
Let's check out the legendary floors here. So legendaries. Oh, come on. So yeah, your epics are still around 100. Okay, yeah, we're getting 400 almost. Two under
Legends.
400 for legendaries. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I see the legendary on the app. 405 is the cheapest one. That is.
I wonder if it's a bit of pricing then, because I see one for 385. Let me just refresh my
Ah,
web browser.
so you get Canada prices, huh? No, I'm playing.
Maybe. Oh, hey,
You're
we're
like,
still buying in U.S. dollars. Okay, yeah, I just refreshed here. So yeah, 405, then 420, and then 430. So, hey, they're
yeah.
$400. That's I think they should be around 500 to be honest. Just take a quick here, the mythicals, and we'll take a look at the primordials. And then yeah, we talk a little
Yeah.
bit about which land you're excited to start building on.
So the legendary one that's like a little dinosaur. I love that's like one of my favorite looking lands. The legendary on the block. Nexus.
Yes, yeah, the Black
Yeah,
Nexus one. I like that too. It's got the little T-Rex on it.
yeah. That's my goal. That's my next buy. I'm gonna save up for one of those.
Nice. Well, hopefully you're able to pick one up before they get expensive.
Yeah.
So mythic are almost up 2 grand, and primordials there around 3,500. So hey, nothing wrong with that. I mean, like if you were able to do well minting, I still think there's lots of room for these NFTs to grow though.
Yeah, definitely. As more players come in, and I mean, it is a tycoon game, you know. It's it's a beautiful game, and the bigger the the rarity, the more diamonds it's gonna have. I'm pretty sure, right? The more diamonds it's gonna create.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then also based on the region. So I wonder how that'll end up breaking down, right? Like, is the Crimson Dune region gonna have like way worse, or was it Crimson Reaches? Sorry, way worse diamond production? I would assume the mythicals are still going to be all relatively similar, but maybe there's differences
Mhm.
between the regions. So, did you what's the highest? Do you have a legendary?
No, the highest I have is an epic.
Okay,
Yeah,
and that was the Molten Forge epics.
yeah, it's the Molten Forge. On the epics, I also like the way the crimson looks, crimson reaches in the epic.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like that. What is it?
That's a
They
nice
got like
looking land.
salamanders or something for their legendary.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're all like these lands I really am impressed with, and I'm super excited to see what they look like in game. Especially like the Stygian Storm, the primordial, the dark primordial one with the dragon. Like that's gonna be so cool if there's sort of like just a dragon like curled up in the corner while you're building your city, or over by your mansion or something.
yeah, just watching over everything, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Right by that big throne. But that's what I'm wondering. So
Yeah.
now that we're going to like a world map, are we foregoing the 10 little bubbles down at the bottom?
Ah, I think maybe those. I think every time we click to a different region, we'll probably have those 10 little bubbles. And
So,
then when we click to a different region, we'll probably have again more bubbles, but just for the lands that we have there.
well, because then that what I'm wondering is how are we chasing the Cubs? You know what I mean? Like,
Ah,
how are we gonna be like flipping through the world map? We just hear them do 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 do. You're like flipping through. He's like, I think he's in the Crimson Reaches. Like, it's gonna be or is he gonna be like different cycles? I mean, that's one thing I'm excited about. There's going to be so much, new things for us to try and discover and let the community know about. So yeah, lots to come.
Yeah, definitely. Because I didn't even think about the Cubs and the different regions and all that. I maybe it'll be in whatever region you are, and just like different, like land number 10, how we do it right now. Land number 3, land number this and that. But maybe no matter what region you're in, maybe they'll come around.
Yeah, maybe.
'Cause, yeah.
Yeah, so because that's the thing, right? Like right now, they show up to all regions. It doesn't matter which, like, our lands are built up of all the different regions right now, depending on what your highest rarity land is, right?
Hmm.
The only one I'm missing is the blocked nexus or blocked chain for the
The
blocked nexus.
blockchain.
So I don't have access to that region right now. But as soon as we get the new DLs or like the update, right, for the world map, I do have one of the ones with the dinosaur on it. So I'll be able to access the blocked nexus, but the lower rarity ones.
Yeah. And yeah, how about the primordial, the one that you just got, the one that is white?
Yeah,
That's a
the
nice looking.
Lucent Ascent. That's the region or the name of it or
Lucina
something.
scent, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty cool looking land. That was the one I was hoping I was going to mint, but I mean, I'm happy I minted one, and I really shouldn't have bought this one, but I think there's going to be a really big desire for high resource lands. I think that's going to
Hmm.
be the top trait, and this is the number one land with because there's no other ones with 160. Like that's the max for the resources. So that's why I picked
Uh,
this one up because it is the only one with 160 resources.
wow.
So it's a
Yeah,
stack
that's
land. It's expensive though. I
yeah. I
I still
mean,
can't believe I spent 4 grand on it.
but it's you can always if we're like you said, these lands are gonna go up in price, and if you that's one cool thing about the NFTs in this game, that if for some reason you need some money, you can always sell it back to the market. Not like Web 2 games that you just buy things just to buy them and you never get nothing out of it. Just for plain pleasure. But
Yeah,
right here, if anything comes up, you could always sell it.
yeah, exactly. I think there'll be other lands I would sell before this. I'm happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't sell that.
I can't wait to see what it looks like though. That's the one big reason why I bought it. It was like I need to see what each region looks like. And the thing is, I think there's 101 of the Stygian storms, and there's 102 of the Lucent Ascent ones. So the dark versus the light. So really, at the best, there's only 101 people that could have one of each if they're all
Yeah,
divvied up properly, right?
yeah. Yeah, no, I think it was exciting. If I had the 4Gs, I would have dropped them too. So I'm there with you.
Well, hey, hopefully we can use them for the Explorers Guild. That's the thing. That's where I was
Yeah,
like, at least now I've got one of every land except for the blocked chain. So if there's something, because like I really would like to help lead some sort of guild, doing some sort of like exploration guild or something. Whether it's like, pick out a couple traits or something from each collection. That way, it's like, hey, this background's part of this guild if you want to join, right, or whatever. Um, Big one being the hikers. We both got a hiker, so
mm,
and then maybe the pirates for explorers. So, but we'll see.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all speculation, right? Which I guess we can get into
Chain
now.
gangs.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
whole nother guild. I won't be leading that. I imagine the one guy, Steve or something like that. He's he's sort of the one that does a lot of the chain gang. He's got the chain gang X account and all that, so he'll probably be trying to lead a chain gang guild. But hopefully, I can join it. And the nice thing is if we're able to pool together all of the lands, then give people access to go and explore them. It'll be good because at least I have a fair amount of lands for people to take advantage of and access. So we'll have to see how it all ends up coming together, but the big thing is I really wanted to see what each region looks like, and you can't do that without a primordial. So, yeah, had to
Yeah.
pick it up.
And you graduated to a well now.
I,
So
I
it's all good,
guess. I don't know whether I still got whale status or if I classify as whale status, but there's a lot bigger holders out there than I am. I'm still a pretty small fish in the big main city ocean.
Yeah. Um, so how about so that's rarity, regions. How about now we have monster, resource, and size that we can
Yes.
speculate about.
Yeah. So like I was saying, right, the reason why I bought this primordial is because it is the only one with 160 resource. And I
Hmm.
think, as that's going to be a big component of the game, they call it out directly, collect resources, right? Guild up, go exploring, partner up, or whatever, and go and collect resources. So to me, that is screaming like, hey, resources is the top trait that you want to be focusing on.
Yeah.
And like what I was trying to explain in the Discord, and I'll see if I can do it a better justice now that I can speak to it, is that
No.
when I think about like monsters, I think about like, okay, we're going to have to fight these monsters to claim the resources, right? So the more monsters there are, then it's going to be harder to defeat the monsters to claim all of the resources, right? So that's where I was saying, like, I think potentially you're going to want to see like a lower or a medium number for monsters. You still want to have fun and go and attack monsters, but you don't want it to be like, hey, I'm going to find 20 resources, but I've got 80 monsters to fight, right? Like, you want it to be more the opposite. It's like 20 monsters to fight for 80 resources. I think that's going to be where those traits start to go. And then size, I don't really know how that's going to play into a factor, but I think maybe somewhere around like density, right? So, like, if you have a really big land but really low resources, then it's a resource deficient land, right? So it doesn't have as high of a resource density. So you're not, when you go out and you do exploration, it's going to be harder to find the resources versus if you had like a really small land but it had a lot of resources, then you're going to have a higher chance of success at finding resources because it's a smaller land, less likely you're going to get lost on your land. And then again, I guess it comes into the factor of like how many monsters are there that you need to deal with to be able to be successful in claiming those resources.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about us like having a podcast that we can bounce ideas off each other because the way I see it, it's I was looking for lands that had more monsters because I see it like the monsters will provide maybe some defense, or the more monsters I have to fight, the more prizes I get. So that's why I was looking for the monsters on the high number of monsters. But
Okay.
yeah, the resources definitely are like resources, and like you said, just the fact that you have one that has 160 resources and it's the only one, that alone is worth the land, bro.
Yeah, well, and that's why, like, I put in an offer, and I saw Vigorous, he had put in an offer, and Kwanzaa had put in an offer, and the guy just wasn't, like, answering any of them, so I was just like, you know what? I don't think he's going to respond. It's been a day since I put my offer in. I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to pull the trigger and buy it. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see if my idea around resources being the top trait that you want high pays off or not. But the one thing I can say is I own the most resource rich land in Main City. So
There you go. There
yeah.
you go. Congratulations. Yeah, it was cool to like go through it 160 and then click on it and see your name. I was like, that's my man right there. I know that guy. I know that
Yeah.
guy.
There we go. A little starstruck.
Yeah. I want an autograph now.
Well, hey, hopefully you can come and explore the land with me, right? That's the big thing I'm excited for is that, hopefully there's a way to be able to, because not everybody's like there's only 203 primordials across like both secret regions, right? So there's got to be a way to bring people with you, and that's where I think the guilds and stuff are going to come in. So, I'd like to be able to be a net asset, right? Somebody that is going to be helpful for the guild because of the lands that I own. So we'll see how it all
Yeah.
comes out, but no, I'm just excited for it. I think there's a lot of good things coming.
Yeah. What about size? Do you think size has to do with what I'm thinking is maybe it has to do with businesses, how many businesses you can place in the land? Because they did say that we're gonna be able to place businesses on these lands, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, we here, and I'll flip it over to. I did have a picture of the Avion Lake. So this is one of the newer lands, but on the mobile device that they had teased previously, and you can see that they have the city set up on the Avalon Lake. That's the epic from the Alluring Aurora collection, right? The Aurora Wilds. That's the epic one with the big turtle. So I think it's guaranteed that we are putting businesses on them. When I first heard about size, that's what I was thinking, is that there's the potential to have more businesses on it. But I think the route that they're going is that size is going to factor somehow into our resource collection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I was saying
Yeah.
earlier, right? Like if you have a really low resource number, but a really big land, right? It's going to be harder to find resources on it. Whereas if you have a really small land but a lot of resources, you're going to find a lot more resources quickly. So I think that might be what the size is bringing into account, right? And same with like monsters, right? If you've got a lot of monsters and a small land, you're going to be running into monsters frequently. Whereas if you've got low monsters but a really big land, then there's going to be less monster battles because there's less monsters but a lot bigger land, right?
Yeah, and my reasoning behind the monsters thinking that the more monsters the better, it was mainly also by looking at how many lands there are, right? Because the more monsters they are, the less lands of them are. So that's one of the reasons why I was speculating that having more monsters are good, because the one that have like the most monsters, there are less of them.
Well,
So that was
what about this
my
too?
reason.
Maybe there's a threshold, right? So, you know, 1 to 20, right? For monsters like that attribute, you're only going to be fighting like those snails or something, you know what I mean? Like the low tier, not that exciting monsters, right? And then as you get it to the higher and higher monster trait, once you hit like, the hundreds for your monster trait, that's when maybe you're going to be fighting the things like the dragons and, these, if you look on the mythicals, you can see all the different monsters. There's like a kraken for the Sapphire Sanctum. There's that, looks like a tiger dragon sort of thing for the Crimson Reaches one. And then, what was the, there's the big sword, right? The sword, which is the background right now for the podcast here. That's the mythical for the Molten Forge, right? So maybe as you get to those higher numbers, you're facing off against those bosses. But if you don't have those high, attributes for monsters, then you're going to be fighting lesser bosses, which then again, like you're saying, would then translate to better prizes, better weapons, better resource drops, whatever it is that come from fighting those higher tier monsters. So I think there could be some potential for that as well. Like you're saying, that monster attribute is going to be a highly desirable one as well. So you might want to try and find one that's 160.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the the mythical from the Crimson Reaches. That's the one that has like a tiger that it's kind of like a dragon, like a hybrid, right, of a dragon and a tiger or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Some sort of like tiger serpent dragon sort of thing floating there, right by the axe.
Mhm.
It's kind of a cool looking one. I mean, all of the artwork on
Yeah,
these I'm blown away by. Like, they're all beautiful to me. I love them all.
me too. I'm like staring at them right now. The mythical with the molten forge, the one that you said that it has the sword in it. It also has like some dragons that are like chained up, like just the heads of the dragons.
Yeah, they remind me of like from Super Mario, chain chomps.
Yeah.
That's what that's what I call them. They're like chain chomp dragons or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's
Yes. Uh-huh.
did you look on the on.mane.city, right? Like if you just go to like before you click to play the game, you can
Uh-huh.
go and click on lands and they have each region. So you can click through and see all of the regions as well.
Wait, when the game is loading?
Before like so if you just typed in like main.city and come up
Uh-huh.
to where the like the front page or the home page of main city is before you click play for free, you can
Uh-huh.
click up in the top left, there's
Oh,
land, and then you can
yeah.
click on that and you can see all of the land regions as well.
Oh, okay. Look at me. And I was trying to pause that GIF. And yeah, I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, it's so much
So
easier to look
stuck.
through that way because then you can flick through and see all the rarities and everything.
Wow, yeah. This is this is what I will need to look at so that I can see the ones that I have and the ones that I need. Like for the block Nexus, I have the first three, one of the first three, but I don't have the one with the dinosaur. The Sea of Sight, Illusion, Fibris, something like that. Oh man, I hadn't noticed this. Thanks.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up on my screen share here. So yeah, like if you click on, I'm pretty sure it's get lands, right? And then it'll bring you right to um, the whole overview of all the different lands and whatnot that they've got. My internet's being a bit slow today.
Yeah, because I usually just have the game up. I hardly ever like close it. So that I can get that little cyber cub, extra cyber cub.
Right? Yeah.
Um,
Like I hardly ever close out the game anymore.
yeah, but on the first tab, I do have the main.city. Yeah, this is real cool.
Yeah. So the one is the Diadem of Fate. That's the Lucian Ascent region. And then there's the Fractured Throne from the Stygian Storm. But yeah, it's kind of nice. You can
Yeah.
go and click through here. You can see each of the names for the rarities, or and per region as well, right? So Blade of Anternas, that's the mythical, and then you got the mythical for the Aurora Wilds called uh, Revalia's Bow, Sapphire Sanctum. You've got the Kraslix Domain. So it kind of looks like a kraken to me. And then on the Molten Forge, you've got your uh, Pyroscar's Broadsword. I
Mm,
think that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea, but
mhm.
pretty cool
Yeah,
looking.
pretty cool names too.
Yeah, yeah, some funky names, that's for sure. But I mean, I don't know how many times can I say it. Beautiful artwork, right? I think very well done. When they first teased the land mint coming out, I was sort of like, please don't just be the same lands. I was kind of upset that it's like, oh, you're just gonna release a bunch of dunes, bunch more dunes. I'm really happy it was a new collection with new artwork, and it really has a purpose, right? It's not just a money grab. These are filling in the world map and making things a lot more exciting to me at least.
Yeah, no, you're right, and the lands are more desirable.
100%, I think. Okay, I think that's all we can really talk about for world maps and season 3 that we know for sure. So we can sort of speculate a bit more. I know we've already talked a little bit about, traits that we saw on the lands, the NFTs. Is there any other stuff that you want to speculate? Maybe around guilds?
Sure, we can try to see. Well, how many? I guess one of the first questions is how many players per guild? Do you think there'll be a max, a minimum?
I don't know if they'll set a minimum, but they'll probably set a max to. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be between 50 and 100. I would think,
Yeah,
right? Because that's a lot
I
of
was thinking
people.
100.
Yeah, 100 people is quite a bit for a guild. But you never
Mhm.
know. Maybe they'll put it up to like 250, right? Um, because I think they'll want people to be able to be in multiple guilds. I don't think we're going to be stuck with just choosing one guild and that's the only guild you can be part of. I'm hoping we can at least be in five. It'd be nice to be participating in five different guilds. What?
Yeah, that way we can also like meet new players, hang around with new players, or even if it's the same players, but be able to just have fun together, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or even like thinking, and I know it's been discussed a few times, but like having a X space guild, right? So people can join this guild, and then when X spaces are ongoing, that's the guild that people are active in, right? And we're going and we're doing boss battles or raids or whatever's happening, quests, stuff like that, as part of that guild, right? And then there could be other ones. I've talked about maybe making the Explorers Guild. There could be the Chain Gang guilds. There could be, the Dark Lion Guild, right? So it's only for people that want to rep the Dark Lions versus, Loaded Lion ones. Or there might also be something for the monks. I know I see some people tweeting out about the monks with blunts. So, there could be a faction for the blunts, or I called it the Trailblazers. That's what I think they should call themselves. Because there's also, I believe, crazy monsters that have joints or blunts. So something along those lines, right? You could just have fun, right? There's the Rainbow Coalition now. So
Yeah, those are getting popular, huh? I've seen Rainbow is getting popular out there.
yeah, I know. I need to find me some rainbow trait cubs. They're hard to
Yeah,
find
or
now.
monsters. I think. Some of the monsters have a background that has a rainbow. I was looking at those too. So
True.
yeah, I mean, just part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be nice if we could all, have multiple, so that way at least, you don't need to be in the same ones as everybody, but you could potentially be in at least one guild with the majority of people, right? So it's like, hey, we're doing Rainbow Coalition stuff today. Do you got the Rainbow Coalition? Can you join that guild? And then you can, sport that specific NFT and be part of go do some raids, do some quests, explore around with them, and everybody's repping a rainbow monk, or well, I guess monsters or cubs at this point really are the two big ones.
Yeah, I want a Halloween guild for my Lord Lion that has the Halloween shirt.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be good. You got to have
Yeah.
the Chucky pet from the Crazy Monsters.
Nice. There you go. See, Halloween guild. There you go. Let's go.
Yeah, because I don't think they have a. There's the Mike Myers one, like, or the what is it? The Myers. I think they've got that in their original collection, because they're all based off horror movies, right? For the Crazy Monsters. So I think
Yeah.
that they had some traits for that. I'm just looking through my Crazy Monsters. I do have one actually that's got the big rainbow with the castle or whatever in the background.
Oh, you do have one with the rainbow in the background?
Yeah, I do. I minted one a while back. See if I got a
Nice,
second one.
nice. I saw the ones with the dark lions and the loaded lions. Those are nice too, but they're pretty pricey right now.
Yeah, those ones are
I mean,
really
yeah.
rare. Like, they're super rare to mint. One, I think I've got one with a dark lion,
Hmm.
and then the rest, yeah, I have not been able to get a loaded lion one yet. I might try minting some more. I know they've got a mint incentive on right now. So if you're looking to
That's
mint,
true.
they're actually, if you mint 25, and I know that's a lot, right? That's a lot of minting. But if you do mint 25, you get a free fractured fate land. Plus, I think um, 3 or 4 free crazy monsters and a backpack and some gear, like tactical gear. So pretty cool incentives that they got ongoing, and lots of legendaries left.
Yeah, yeah, I'm probably going mint a few, even if I can, do the whole benefits. But yeah, maybe I'll mint a dark lion as a pet, or maybe a legendary. You said there's still some legendaries out there
Yeah, there's
to be
24
mint.
actually.
Mm.
So that's quite a
Yeah,
bit
and
of
I
them.
love them. I love these monsters.
Yeah, they're
I
really
think.
cool. I like them, especially because like $15 for an NFT, like it's not that
Mhm.
expensive when you see what other collections mint at, right?
Yeah, and then you can get, who knows, maybe you get a good one. Like right now, there's one that has the loaded lion and the rainbow in the background. It's 250. So imagine out of $15, you get something like that.
Yeah. Well, even if you pull the legendary, I think it's $100 of their governance token for their new spectral system they're bringing out. You get a pretty good little reward just from that, right? So $15 is a guaranteed $100 airdrop. Plus, you have a legendary NFT.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
so other than guilds, I mean, the exploration, so gameplay wise, like, do you have any speculation as to what you think it might be? I know they need to try and keep it mobile friendly, right? So I don't think it's going to be like too intense for like, well, it's definitely not going to be first person shooter, I don't think. But I hope that we're actually going to interact and like be able to guide our PFP that we use as sort of like an actual stand in avatar. That'd be so cool.
yeah. That'll be cool because it'll just be something different than just click, 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 click away. We want to move things around. We want to move around the map.
Yeah, even
I
if it's just
definitely do hope so.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was
Uh-huh.
just gonna say if it's just the minor choice of like you've got three different types of attacks. Like you've got a quick attack, you've got your normal attack, and you've got like a heavy attack, right? That needs to be built up or something like that. And you can just choose between those three attacks as you sort of like, tap and attack somebody. So you can that would be the simplest, I think, right? Because then it's mobile friendly. You could just like click on the enemy and click the attack that you want to do versus trying to actually like walk around with like a d-pad and explore and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a lot of tapping or clicking still, but more to direct where you're going to walk.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I
Who
don't
knows?
mind the clicking. It'll be cool if we can move it around with like a D-pad, like you said. But yeah, even just clicking on a monster, and sending a tag or putting a cover, just more interactive is what we need, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think with the, we've got the daily roar that keeps people coming back. You got to collect your little bonuses, but I think if we've got like a daily quest, right? And then a weekly quest that takes a few days to like complete, there's reasons for people to come back. And I hope it's not something lame like, oh, upgrade a business and you complete a daily quest. Like, I hope there's something like, go and find this type of resource, right? And it's not like, or this amount of this type of resource. So then, it incentivizes you and it's like, hey, you can only find this resource in the Crimson Reaches, right? So now I need to, go out and use my Crimson Reaches and go and explore those lands because that's what the daily bonus is for, right? To find, I don't know, whatever the resource is going to be on that. But I imagine there will be five different resource types maybe that we need to go and collect that are from the different regions, and there might even be more, right? And each region provides you a higher chance of finding a specific resource, but they're also available on all lands.
Yeah, and I think it was in the roadmap to have daily quests, right? I think it's already like saying that they are gonna have them, and maybe some of the resources that we get, it could be kind of like what we get on the daily road. Like maybe we can get diamonds, or you find another resource, and it'll be an attack or a defense, stuff like that. Maybe some blueprints will be good to try to get some blueprints.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just love blueprints.
yeah. Well, that would be kind of cool if you could trade in resources to get blueprints, right? It's like maybe there's some like mythical, high rarity resource that you can convert into these in-game assets. But that's what I'm wondering. It's like, okay, we're going to be out there collecting resources. What are the resources going to be used for? Is it, are they going to be used to upgrade weapons? Right? Like we find weapons and we upgrade them to get better abilities on them, so then we're more successful when we're questing. Or, is there going to be other resources that help boost the city, right? It's like, hey, you can take, 10 of these resources and it turns into a gold booster if you wanted to, or something like that.
Yeah. And also the next so the next competitions, once everything is implemented, it's gonna be, I think the next competitions are gonna be even more fun.
No, I agree, especially because I think to speculate a little bit on that, there's going to be, like they said, region based, right? Whether it's region based leaderboards and there's different prizes based on the region, or if there's going to be like some sort of incentive to coordinate with your faction, right? And it's like, you could talk with the Legion guys and be like, hey guys, we need to focus more in the Sapphire Sanctum. We don't have enough people building, so we're losing the war in that area. Whereas we're good with the blocked Nexus region. So maybe somebody stops building in the blocked Nexus and goes over to Sapphire Sanctum to build.
Yes, and that brings a great point as far as communication. I hope they have some sort of way to send messages in between players, like in the game, because right now, like all the communication, we do it either through X or through the Discord. But it would be real cool if we have a way to communicate between players within the game.
Yeah, that'd be really cool if you think about it. Like if there was a guild chat, right? And there's a text guild chat and maybe like an actual voice guild chat that we could all join in and like sit down and talk, opposed to like having, like you said, go to Discord and have to deal with, a third party sort of communication tool.
Yeah, so definitely we're gonna send a message to Shane so that they can start listening to this podcast because there's so much so many ideas going on in this podcast. So I think that's why people like listening to them too, you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate the sport, like the support and everything we get from the community. And guys, if you've made it this far in and you're enjoying the speculation talk, please down in the comments, let us know what you guys think is going to happen, and if you've got some ideas around any of the other topics that we've been talking about today. Because we're always interested to hear what you guys think as well. That's the best part about these types of chats, right? Like, sure, it's just DJ Oracle and myself talking right now, but we like to read through the comments that you guys have, and also bring some of that into the next podcast, especially when it's relevant stuff.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about the community, that they are interacting more with the videos. I do see a lot of comments on your videos. Um, so yeah, definitely, if you haven't, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channels, and definitely leave some comments down there so that we can talk about it in the next videos. Yeah, it's a community game, and this podcast is for you guys. You know.
Exactly. And that's the big thing, right? Is, we love being part of this community. And, I think I could speak for yourself too, DJ Oracle. Like, we really have found a home sort of within the main city community, and really appreciate, it's all really great people. Everybody's super nice and informative when it comes to playing the games. So, if you're new coming into this and you just found this podcast, by all means, make sure you get into the Discord. There's a lot of good people, good resources, and it's, yeah, just a good community all around to be a part of. One that I haven't
Yeah,
found anything like in any other Web3 communities. This is a very tight knit, positive community, so it's good to see.
yeah, and it's good to see that the same people that we chat around, people that get on X, we actually see on the competitions. You can see each other on the leaderboard. Like on my way up, I know he's always shouting out the videos, and we were next to each other for a while on the leaderboard on the Blitz. So we were like going back and forth, attacking and everything. But once we're done with the competition, we're like, or even not when we're done, but just outside of the competition, we're still on the spaces. We appreciate the sportsmanship. Nobody gets mad at anybody. We're all just super glad that we're here in this community and just enjoying and it's so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the one thing is, right, like there is money involved, right? These are NFT games. There's money to be won in the prize pool and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, it is a game, right? And try not to let your feelings take over. We're all here just to have fun, and if somebody beats you in the competition, just take it as, all right, next time I just need to try harder and come up with a better strategy. And sure, okay, a lot of it comes down to how much money you've put into NFTs and what you own, but there's also, really, it comes down to strategy too. Like Astaria places really well without owning a lot of NFTs. There's a lot of other people do it as well, right? So it's not all just about owning all the best NFTs, but I mean that definitely does help.
Yeah, and some of them are like they start like at $2. They're not that expensive. Some of the expensive ones, we've had some people and even myself, gotten some NFT airdrop from the top 1,000. So yeah, definitely get into the competition so you can get your vouchers when they do have NFTs. You never know what kind of NFT you're gonna get. So just that alone, it makes the competitions more exciting too. Just seeing what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's one thing I was kind of sad that they didn't have as an incentive to try and fight for the top 1,000 with this Blitz, right? Like there was no NFTs to win. So if you're outside of the top 500, you're not even earning one crow, right? So it's a lot of work to place, but not really any payback unless you're getting into that, top 300, top 400 ish is where that, you're starting to see 5 to 15 Chronos coins, which would be like, your 15,000 vouchers. But once you're into the top 100, right, like you said, you placed 75 and you got 1,000 Chronos coin, so 1 million vouchers, which is solid, right? That's a good prize.
Yeah, definitely. And to also to be fair to the devs, it was kind of like a surprise blitz, and it was pretty much I think it was something to give us because everybody was like so speculative about the lands, and I think they just kind of threw a bone for us to just kind of like have something to chew on.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Right, it was like they gave us what, like 3 days, 4 days notice or something like that before the competition started. But I think it was a good bite of time. Right, it allowed us something to keep us engaged with the game while we wait for them to finalize the details for the integration of the Fractured Fate lands.
Yeah,
When do you think
yeah.
we're
So it
gonna
was
be
a
able
good
to
surprise.
see them in game?
Yeah,
Like I'm thinking we're
yeah,
probably first week of June, right? So, a couple weeks from now, I think we're gonna see the Fractured Fate lands. I would love it if it was by the end of May, but I think probably, first week of June, we're gonna see the world map get integrated, and then we'll be able to start building our city on these new lands.
yeah. I totally agree. I think the first week of June, it's probably gonna be when they implement them. It's
Watch,
just
we'll upload
exciting.
this and it gets integrated tomorrow. That'd be awesome, though. I wouldn't complain. Be like, yes, I could start making new content, show off all the lands and all that. The region map, how it
Yeah,
all works. Try to find those cyber clubs. Lots of stuff to figure out.
yeah, definitely. Lots of things to play around, and yeah, especially because we just like to play around a lot, and we find the little details here and there. So, you know, it'll just give us more. Like you said, it'll give us more content to make videos and do podcast about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing I'm excited about is the new content for us to do. Daily quests, weekly quests. Heck, maybe they'll have a monthly quest that's really difficult to complete, but gives you a lot of really good rewards, maybe a legendary blueprint or something like that. So who knows what's to come, but we're here and here to speculate. I guess with that being said, do you have any other topics or items you want to speculate about what's going on with season 3? We tried to touch on the gameplay a bit, and a little bit on the resources we talked about earlier, as well as like different traits that are on the lands, resources, monsters, size, quests, guilds, things like that. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, other than maybe like weapons or something that might get integrated, or maybe they did tease another NFT collection, which might get airdropped to like cyber cubs and stuff. Maybe we need vehicles. I don't know, something like that. But
Yeah, some vehicles will be cool. But yeah, no, I think we covered most of it, and I hope they don't do an NFT drop so soon. We gotta save some money. We gotta
airdrop,
enjoy the ones we have for now too.
give it as an airdrop, no mint, please.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, an airdrop. Oh yeah, the Cyber Cubs were all airdropped, huh?
Exactly. Yep. So, and they airdrop
Yeah,
quite a
give
bit
us
of
some vehicles.
backpacks, right, to previous land collection holders. So, there could be
And some of
something
the
like that.
tools were airdropped too, I think, right?
Yep. The core tools and the core tactical gear, those were all airdropped as well. So, could be something along that line where airdrop half of the collection and the other half gets minted. Um, but yeah, I don't think that's coming out anytime soon. If they do something like that, there's a lot of NFTs with the Fractured Fate lands that needs to get integrated and used in the game before they start bringing out more NFTs to get integrated and used in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is good. It'll hold us up until everything comes out, and then we'll definitely do another episode after everything comes out.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess the last little topic that I did want to just touch on briefly, because they did mint a collection within the last little bit here, as well as the announcement of their partnership. I know Wolf Swap did make an announcement as well that they're partnering with Main.city. I gotta apologize up front. I'm not as familiar with Wolf Swap. I know they have an NFT, I believe, the Wolves that they have, but I'm not exactly sure like how that's coming into play. I'm a lot more familiar with Synthtopia. I have been involved, with their mints previously. They usually do a lot of like dollar mints here and there, so I'd been, aware of the whole project prior to their announcement of partnering with Main.city. But they did just do a mint. Now it's not announced that it's coming to the game, but this is within their mint that they linked with their partnership announcement, and it's called the Synthetics. So they minted for $81. Floor price right now is 64. I think they look kind of cool. I know some people have been hating on them just because they are a bit different. They're like 3D avatars. But yeah, there's some interesting looking ones. So if you missed the mint, it might be worth just checking, pick up one or two here.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I saw it too. I minted one. Um, and yeah, they're different. It looks like they're jumping out into action, so hopefully they will be implemented into main city. They're different, but I like them. I really like them. I got one that has a guitar, and so yeah, I can't wait. I know they do have a really cool collection overall. Synthtopia, I minted some before, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that too. Maybe it'll be skins. Maybe who knows. There's a lot of all of the businesses have a little option for skins, and also the furniture. The furniture has a little thing for skins. So there's so many options.
They have said that they have a skin coming to the game, right? And I mean, as of right now, there's no way to have a skin in the game without having an NFT that unlocks the skin, right? So there's
Mhm.
going to need to be a collection that comes to Main City. Now, whether it's this collection or one of their other collections, nobody really knows. But, there is something coming to Main City that is part of the Synthtopia project.
Yeah, I saw that. And yeah, Wolves will have too. But again, we don't have that much information. They just made an announcement. Um, so yeah, we're just waiting for more info. As soon as we get more info, we'll definitely put it out there.
Yeah, exactly. So once we do know which collection's coming to the game, and maybe they even tease some of the information uh, around what the skins are going to look like. Hopefully, we understand which business it's coming to. And I really hope that it's also one that's going to be more accessible for everybody, right? Like, I always just worry. It's like, oh, if you bring out like the Apex, right? Not everybody's got an Apex tower, so it's not as exciting for people. I mean, the price on those businesses are already expensive. So we'll have to see what happens. I hope it's something, maybe the bank. I think the bank's going to come for the Lion token, though. The skin that they were teasing for Lion. So who knows? But yeah, as we get more information, we will try to keep the community up to date as possible. So, keep a lookout, and hopefully we have more information for you guys sooner rather than later.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And yeah, it's just makes for more news and more excitement, more speculation, and more fun.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, lots more to come. And, I'm sure there's more partnerships as well, right? This will be the next Legion one. Monks were the first Legion. So I believe that they're likely going to be the second Legion partnership. And then we'd be looking for the third Void partnership, which is probably Wolf Swap. Or it might be the other way around. It could be Void partnering with Synthtopia, and Wolf Swap is partnered with the Legion faction. But we'll have to see. I do think though factions moving forward are staying. I don't think they're going anywhere, and they might just have a different facet within the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Right on.
So yep,
I think
we'll see what comes up.
Yeah, and I think that's about all we really got for today, right? We were able to
Yeah,
keep it under an hour and a half, so small success
nice.
there. I know we always try to
As
keep it at an
promised.
hour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you very much, everybody that did stay and listen right to the end here. We appreciate your guys' support. We'd love to hear down below what you guys are most excited for. Also, if you're interested, let us know what your favorite region is. Personally, I think my favorite region is the Sapphire Sanctum. I love the lagoons. The Sapphire Lagoon is one of my favorite lands. So I'm excited to see what the mythical and legendary of the Sapphire Sanctum looks like. You said earlier yours was the Molten Forge, right?
Yeah, I really like that one.
Nice. I'm also really
Yeah.
digging though the mythical for the Aurora Wilds. That one's really cool. With like those flying, like they look like, I don't know, some weird like dinosaur kind of thing that flies around, right? It's like a giant bird of some sort or a bat.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, some really
Uh,
cool lands.
yeah, so let us know, guys, what's your favorite land? Make sure you comment how you did in the competition. Leave us what rank you were in the leaderboard. Like the video, subscribe. And thank you guys for staying.
Yes, and thank you very much, DJ Oracle, again for joining me. It's always a pleasure talking Main City with you, and I think we're a little bit over the hiatus that we were sort of structured into, unfortunately. So hopefully we can get something going, bi-weekly, or at least maybe another one once we get the integration of the lands into the game, and we'll have some more stuff to talk about. So I appreciate you for joining me again, and anybody, make sure you're subscribed, and yeah, keep your eyes out for probably mid-June. We'll have another podcast out. Hopefully a lot more stuff to talk about as well, including partnerships and land integration.
Yes, and again, thank you very much for hosting, Arwing.
It's always a pleasure. All right, guys. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, we'll definitely catch you in the next one.
Catch you on the next one. Peace.